Hi guys, so I'm super excited. I just got back from a day full of soccer and thank goodness you cannot smell me on this video. But we got back home and on my front doorstep was a package from Persnickety Prints, which wasn't supposed to get here for another couple of days. So I was super excited to bring it inside and start putting my pages in my album. This is one of my favorite parts of scrapbooking, is actually seeing the album come together and seeing all those little pieces and all that hard work add up and see where that album is going to live for as long as I'm alive. Being dramatic. So I just thought I would walk you through. Here are some of the albums that I am continuously working on. These are a little bit of a quick flip through some of them. So I just wanted to show you all of the albums that I've been working on. So let's go. First up is Wesley's school album. So I keep a baby album up to 1 year, and then I do each of their birthdays through their 5th birthday, and then I start them into a preschool album. So this is Wesley's preschool work that I am putting in here. This is a project that I try to do twice a year. I'm not very good about doing it twice a year. It's a lot. I go through and I cull all of the kids' schoolwork, and then I photograph it, and then I put it into a scrapbook page and print that so that I can keep it in their albums. I do not keep all of my kids' schoolwork. There are too many papers, and it is always a rough day when they catch me throwing away some of their schoolwork. But I do keep the really important special ones, or the ones that I just think have more meaning. I always want to keep a sample of their handwriting and any of their original art that they do. Really, those are the things that I'm taking pictures of too. And I try to keep like handprints. I keep those and try to put them in these albums. I think you'll be able to see that here in just a second. Yeah, in Wesley's album. So there are the actual handprints so that I can see that and compare as he gets older. And then that's just his schoolwork from the first semester. So now on to Brecken's album. Same thing. Once again, you would think that this would have been a COVID, right, catch-up project. It was not. I did not do anything during COVID. In fact, the papers just piled up. I also put like important events in here too. So first day of school, last day of school. I always have them, that's a page I need to trim, obviously, fill out a paper about their teacher and what their favorite part of the year was at the end of the year, their friends, the books that they've read, their favorite book at the time, what they want to be when they grow up. That's all included in there. I also put their birthdays in each year. And then those little chalkboard pages are actually the chalkboards that I have them take pictures with at the beginning of the school year. So once again, I go through, try to take pictures of everything. Like I was saying, this should have been a COVID thing. It was not a COVID thing. COVID only taught me the importance of worksheets in a classroom. Keep those kids busy, right? So once again, samples of handwriting. I love that you can see the way that Brecken was writing her name at the beginning of the school year, and then hopefully I'll have some piece later on at the end of this school year that I can put in. So this is actually the current school year that we're in. I did finally get caught up. It was a big, long project, and I just took a whole morning to do it one day and got everything up to date. All of those pages are already in their album, so this was just this semester that I was doing. And moving some pages around, and those are those question pages that I think I made up. I know some of them are actual cards in the Project Life app, but I think some of those questions are just things, and I can maybe post that somewhere. Maybe on my Instagram I can post a blank page. Next up into Lawrence's school album. And we're just going to do the exact same thing. He is the oldest, so he has the most. And we're getting close to capacity in his album. He did also start school a little bit earlier than the other two. So we'll just see. My hope was to make it all the way through grade school, which here is K through 6, and he had a few extra years before that. So I'm not sure. It's getting kind of full. We'll see where we're at. He's in 4th grade now, so we're getting close. We may only make it through 4th grade, maybe even 5th grade, and do 6th, 7th, 8th, and then high school. I don't know. I have extra albums purchased for them already to match the colors. I think some of these colors are discontinued by Becky Higgins, which no big deal. I could always change the colors if I had to, or just do a new scrapbook colored completely. They don't have to match, I guess. So he has less things to put in anymore. That's the thing that I'm finding. There's just less busy work that they're bringing home. He's bringing home bigger projects. He's bringing home more original art. I'm actually saving some of his doodles because he is a doodler just like his mother. So saving some of the things that are actually on the back of his schoolwork instead of the actual schoolwork. I don't think there's as many of those in this collection, but I feel like maybe it was in 3rd grade. I had a bunch of pictures that were doodles. Okay, now we are moving into last year's album. So we are going to be going back and completing this album, which I don't know which is my favorite. Is it completing an album or is it starting the new one? It's always hard. Either one is exciting. I love getting all of the pages in there and finishing it up. But then I love like seeing the really recent new pages that I've just made. I don't know. Comment below and say which one you prefer. Do you rather see what you've already done in the past and look back, or are you more excited about going into the future and the things that just happened recently? So these are those memory pages that I make. I make one every month. It is a 12 by 12 page that I actually cut into two 6 by 12 pages, and I put those back to back. Now on this one, these I actually made the page protectors myself, and you can see I actually separated it while I was putting that in. So I'll go back and I'll fuse it again, but I'm also noticing on that one, you can see that little wrinkle. That's where the little Avery tab is. This is a very full album, so I think it's just has too many pages. I don't care. It's going to be fine. I hadn't noticed that until right now. I also think in this album, I had all of the Avery tabs like all lined up. Yeah, see, November and December are the same. They're all lined up in the same place, and that's probably what's causing the problem. So for 2023, I went through and I actually put them down the side, like file, the dividers that you have in the 3-ring binders. So hopefully that won't be as much of an issue in this year's album. So funny thing about those memory, I love those memory pages because they have all of the funny things that the kids say and all of the milestones that happen throughout the year or throughout the month. But I get so far behind on those because they are some of the most time-consuming pages to make. So this year, I'm printing them at home and putting them into the Design A Project Life pocket pages, and I've cut those down to 6 by 12 because I was having a hard time finding 6 by 12 page protectors anymore. They're still on scrapbook.com, but they're usually sold out. I try to grab them whenever they're available. Every so often I find them on beckyhiggins.com, but I'm just not finding them as often. So that's what I did this year, was I made my own from 12 by 12 page protectors. But this year I've switched over and I'm just cutting down a Design A Becky Higgins pocket page protector. So here at the end, I ran out of page protectors in here. I thought I had the right amount, but then I guess I went back and I decided that I wanted to print out my 30 Days of Gratitude in November and add it to the album. So that took up a few too many pages. And that I'm flipping through right there is actually all of my Instagram posts from the whole year. I only put the photos in my album. So ran off, got some new page protectors. We're going to throw those in there. And keep on adding pages. So I always get really page heavy in the month of December. I do December daily. I try to keep that in mind, but I still want all of the like big events in my Project Life album. So I want the Santa page, and I want the Christmas Eve, and I want Christmas Eve setting out cookies for Santa, and I want Christmas morning, and I want Christmas Day, and then we have other celebrations that we do, and I make a page for each one of those because I take a million pictures on each one of those days and for each one of those events. So I always know that December is going to get a little bit more love than the other months of the year. I'm okay with that. I just expect it. So I can't remember how many I actually ended. I think I had to add 7 extra pages, page protectors, so 14 more pages that I was short of, even though I thought I had counted everything out, but I didn't, obviously. So there's Christmas morning, and then, oh my gosh, I love this picture of Brecken laying face down on the floor. She was done on Christmas Day evening. So I always just kind of start with the Instagram pages. They don't always end up to work out perfectly at the end of the album. This one, I went ahead and added in our top 10 memories so that I could make it work with the Instagram pages instead of scooting everything forward one slot. I've done that before as well. It's not fun to do. So I just moved our top 10 memories up there. I'm going to add in the last of my Instagram posts for 2022 here. So we're already into October, November, December. And then the very last page of this is going to be a page full of QR codes that link to all of the videos, like video montages that I made for each quarter. And then also for all of the kids' birthdays, and there's one for Christmas, and I think there's a few that are soccer ones. I love that at the end. I hope that those work for a long time. I never know if they're really going to last, but at least for now, you can scan them and they will work and they will link to a video. So I'm just showing you there again that was a 12 by 12 page. I cut it down to 6 by 12. It has the colorful background. It has the Avery index tab on the side to identify that that is a new month. I've done those for years now, and I just love those pages. I could literally just go through an album and only read those pages and just enjoy the experience. Now we're going to be moving into the 2023 album, and I started off with a few things that I've already printed out. So I really wanted to include that big black acrylic 2023. And like I talked about, I am using the Design A Becky Higgins pocket page protectors cut down into 6 by 12, and I'm printing my monthly memory pages out on 4 by 6 and then cutting those up and putting them in that little modified monthly memory page with the Avery index tab. And once again, I would advise you to put them down the side instead of all in one spot. Otherwise, you end up crinkling your photos further down the road. So towards the end of the year, maybe even at the beginning of the year, I didn't really go back and check that in 2022. So here are my February pages. Or I'm starting here my February pages, and I am going to move that monthly memory. And like I said, for the last few years that I've done those, they have taken the most time. This is the most caught up I have ever been on the monthly memory pages. So I'm really proud of myself for that. And now we are going to move into March. So I'm going to move these up just a bit. I just guessed and put them in there. I think I put 4 between each one, but that wasn't exactly right, 3 or 4. I'm usually pretty good about guessing that, so I was kind of surprised that I was so far off. We're gonna put that back up here because that's where it belongs. And like I said, I just love those pages. They are just great pages. If you don't just, I only jot down like at most 10 things in the entire month. Funny things that the kids have said, big events, like our dog turned 15, that's the page there. So I put that on the monthly memory page. Also, my son turned 10, so that went on the monthly memory page. Boom, 2 things already. So I only need, honestly, 5 or 6 more things to put on there. And just sometimes when I get really far behind and I didn't write anything down, I will just flip through my pages and see if there's anything that sparks a memory that I can just jot down. Like, oh yeah, it was really funny when so-and-so did this. And that's what I put on there. And it's just a great summary. Or things that you forgot to write in the moment on your scrapbooking pages. That's another thing that you could put on there. I've definitely used it all of those ways. So here I'm leaving some extra pages. It was my son's birthday and I haven't finished that page yet. This is the busiest time of the year right here, what that we're putting in. So my son and my daughter have birthdays a week apart. So it is hugely busy. Sometimes Easter's on the same day or the same weekend or the following weekend. This time it was 3 weekends in a row. So it's always just a lot of doing, a lot of going, and a lot to document. So I'm leaving some blank pages here intentionally because this is where Brecken's birthday page will go. And then we also started soccer. So there's Wesley being silly at soccer, and I'm going to leave another page, blank page here for him starting his soccer. This year I have really been focusing on posting more on Instagram and being a little bit more active with a scrapbooking account. So I have posted, I think, all of these pages on my Instagram account. If you want to see any of them in closer detail, at least all of these for 2023. I may go back and start adding a few from 2022. We'll just see what the future holds. So I'm relocating May there because I know I need a few more pages. And then I'm going to go back to the very end of the book, back behind December. And like I said, I'm just going to start the Instagram pages just right away, like on an odd numbered page there. And put those in back to back. And I don't know why is it that sometimes they are so hard to slide into those protective sleeves. I feel like, is it because the photos are too big or the sleeves are just not quite the right size? I don't know. I struggled with that one right there. And then I accidentally printed my reading. I don't usually print my reading, journaling, documenting. I just keep it for my own personal reference. Sometimes I print it and put it in my planner. I think I did that by mistake, so I went ahead and just slid that in there for protective keeping, safekeeping. So here they are. It's all going back on the shelf. There are all of my albums, the kiddos' albums, and thank you so much for watching. Please consider subscribing. I hope that you enjoyed this. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and let me know what you might like to see next time.